Good afternoon, villagers. How are you doing? You're watching PTV. Uh, hello, lovely peoples. Yes, everyone is lovely. Danny, you're getting ahead of me on this. How you doing, everyone? Just taking off my lanyard here. This is October 21st. It is 65 days until Christmas. It is time for your daily dose of Disney. Hello, Stacy. Thank you for being here. So I see Pam's fam. I've seen Mike, Danny. I see Doug in the stream as well. Yeah. Queen Rosie, how are you doing? Todd. Oh, Todd, Arnie is my hero. Thank you, Todd. Thank you so much. Oh my, it is, actually there's a lot of stuff here on my list of things that I found in my research. Hey, Sean with Mickey Sightings. How you doing? Danny, you're oldish, but you're feeling it? Yeah. It just kind of happens. So sorry. Keystone, thank you for being here. Good to have you. If you haven't yet, please share out the stream so we can get as many people in here as possible. See, he wants a PTV shirt to wear for the East Coast representatives. Todd, I'll go ahead and send you a link to how you can get one of our t-shirts. Yeah, definitely, because we have to buy them ourselves. So anyway, like I said, it's October 21st. It's time for your daily dose of Disney, and a lot has happened in the world of Disney on October 21st. First one that I found, actually it goes back to 1911, and this one is interesting. Mary Blair was born. She may not seem like anyone that you've heard of before, but for those in the know, everyone knows that Mary Blair was a very talented artist with the Disney Company. Hey, Leanne, thank you for being here. She started at Disney Studios in 1940, and her unique color stylings and design work can be found in Alice in Wonderland, Cinderella, Peter Pan. She also had a major influence on the attraction It's a Small World. The facade of the attraction, especially in California, was designed by her. And the geometric shapes, the whimsical facade, everything. She had a very strong influence on that attraction, as well as the interior. Ben, as a matter of fact, just before I came on, said, make sure you mention her. And he sent me a picture of her looking at some of the items that she helped design for the attraction itself. So yeah, it's pretty cool. She was very talented. She also painted a mural in Disneyland's Tomorrowland Promenade. And she also designed the, I'm sure a lot of you may have known her as the person that's designed the ceramic tile mural at the Contemporary Resort. Yay for the five-legged goat. If you haven't seen it, take a look for it. You will find a five-legged goat in that ceramic and that tile mural. It's pretty cool. It's such a big mural too. She was one of the people that escorted Walt Disney on the South American trip that they just completed in 1941. They had just completed at this point. And she also appeared in the movie Saludos Amigos in 1942. She acted as an art supervisor for the Three Caballeros in 1944. Some of her work was then used in the fiesta scene of the El Rio del Tiempo at the Mexico Pavilion in World Showcase. I'll mention that a little bit later too, the Mexico Pavilion, that is. She was named a Disney legend in 1991, some 13 years after her death. Mary Blair, very talented, and we owe a lot to her for the look of Small World, and as well as a lot of the animated features. 1941, October 21st, 1941, Fantasia closed at the Broadway Theater in New York City. It had run for just about a year. And then 2 days later, Dumbo had its world premiere in that same theater. That's pretty cool. Here's where we come to another interesting tie of events within our Disney universe. on October 21st, 1956, Carrie Fisher was born in Beverly Hills. I say that it's kind of a tie to us because Danny of Two Real Geeks happens to be a huge Star Wars fan, and today is also his birthday, which I'm sure a lot of you already know as you have been mentioning it throughout the stream as I've been watching the chat as I see it go by. So Danny, from all of us at PTV, happy birthday. And yes, Leia was awesome sauce. So, oh, Mike, thank you. Yeah, check out that video of Ben, Life with Ben, if you haven't seen it yet. It's really, really fun. Make sure that you've already eaten when you watch it. Otherwise, it may make you hungry. So that was in 1956. 1965. If you saw my Instagram post today, as well as the thumbnail for this video, and also Instagram, Twitter, all the social media, Blue Nose, hey, good to have you here. How are you doing? It's so good to see you in the stream. I hope you're feeling better. Thank you so much for being here. Today on 1965, oh yeah, everyone, give some hearts and things like that to Danny for his birthday. So if you can go ahead and do the little hearts, make them red for Danny, and then make them do some other icon for a Blue Nose. Let him know that we're thinking about him, that he's feeling, look good to see that he's feeling better. 1965, Walt Disney received the final script on this day for Disneyland's latest attraction that they were working on, Pirates of the Caribbean. So Walt saw the script. As a matter of fact, 5 days later, they began recording it. So, Todd. So yeah, performers J. Pat O'Malley, and then this other person that you may actually know, Paul Frees. You've heard that voice a lot. He did a lot in animation. He did a lot throughout Disney. His voice is also that of the ghost host in the Haunted Mansion. But he did some recording for Pirates of the Caribbean. That was in 1965. So 5 days from now, they began recording the dialogue for that attraction. Awesome, Pam. Good to see that. Thank you so much for doing that for those guys. October 21st, 1972. This is a funny one. This is a very funny one. At Disneyland, a 3-day Winnie the Pooh for President event started. It featured a ticker tape parade and a stage show, and they're all happened at Disneyland. Children were asked to gather in front of It's a Small World at 11:30 every day during the 3-day event, and to join in the parade and political rally. 3 times a day, the Pooh Review was presented on the Tomorrowland stage, and free showings of Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day were held in the Fantasyland Theater. And then Pooh, Tigger, and Eeyore were available for meet and greets all day at their National Campaign headquarters in Carnation Plaza Gardens. And upon leaving the park, each child, Arnie is just a white, shiny plastic spaceman. Yeah, Danny, you do know that. That's for sure. So upon leaving the park, everyone would find, every child would receive a free Pooh for President poster, a pin, and coloring kit. Now, I've never seen these pieces of memorabilia, but I'll tell you, I was 8 years old at the time, and I am sure, had I been at Disneyland during those days, I would have gotten those. But unfortunately, my dad did not take us to Disneyland in 1972. Instead, we went on a very exciting family vacation in 1972, and have I got stories about that trip. That one was a lot of fun. But yeah, there was a lot happening on that trip in 1972 that we took to Colorado. It was a lot of fun. So that was 1972. October 21st, 1982, the El Rio del Tiempo, which is later known as the Grand Fiesta Tour, starring the Three Caballeros. It's that riverboat tour in the Mexico Pavilion. It was dedicated along with the Mexican Pavilion, at Epcot on this day. So while the park had been open, they were doing new dedications every day for the various attractions and pavilions in World Showcase and Future World. So 1982 was a big year at Walt Disney World. Arnie, do we have to blame you for another Mikey Sugar Rush? Maybe. I didn't send him any candy, but I did put it in his head. He and I chatted a little earlier today, and I mentioned it, and I guess he just took that as a cue. Have you seen the Jungle Cruise movie trailer? Yes, I have, Todd. I have seen that trailer. I'm hoping it's entertaining. I do like The Rock. Emily Blunt is also entertaining. So I'm going to leave judgment for that for when I actually see the movie. I don't like to make a judgment on just seeing a trailer. Okay, Stacy, no problem. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. So I'm not going to make any judgment calls on the Jungle Cruise movie yet. Okay, October 21st, 1996. Disney Cruise Line celebrated the laying of the keel of the Disney Magic during a special ceremony in Italy. Fincantieri built the ship for Disney Cruise Line. It was the Disney Magic. Doug has a print, actually photos, of the ship in its construction phase showing both halves of the boat being welded, being put together, because they were, each half of the boat were built in separate boat yards about 100 miles away from each other. Jeff of Only Passengers, good to see you. How are you doing? So, but it was on this day that they did the keel of the Disney Magic. So they celebrated. Okay, in October 21st, 1998, this is an interesting one. It's actually more a Washington, D.C. kind of thing. President Bill Clinton signed the Sonny Bono Copyright Term Extension Act of 1998. Now, that may sound really boring, but it had significant ramifications for the Disney Company. The Walt Disney Company had been lobbying extremely hard for legislation of this kind, and Sonny Bono was a big proponent of it himself as an artist and writer of music. So he also was a filmmaker, so he had a big stock in making sure that something like this happened. So what happened was this act extended the duration of U.S. copyrights by 20 years. Prior to this, copyrights lasted for the life of the author plus 50 years. Now it allowed copyrights to last the life of the author plus 70 years, and in the case of individual works, or 75 to 95 years in the case of works of a corporate authorship and works first published before January 1st, 1978. Okay, that's really dry and really boring. But what it means is that many characters, including Mickey Mouse, are now protected by copyright, and they won't become part of the public domain for many, many years. So, oh my. Hello, Christy. Thank you for being here. So that was significant legislation. And yes, the Walt Disney Company was the one that really pushed hard for that legislation, really to protect Mickey Mouse. So he is not going to be part of the public domain, probably within my lifetime. He'll always be copyrighted. So anyway, October 21st, 2010, in New York City, speaking of Mickey, Mickey was in New York City on this day to unveil a new state-of-the-art digital billboard in Times Square. And it was going to be, it's the big sign that's over the Disney store. It's a 2-story store, and it's Disney's largest Disney store. The celebration was going to be for the grand opening of the store is going to be on November 9th, but that was 2010. So for 9 years, almost 9 years, the store has been open on Times Square. And then finally in the news, in history, I have this little bit here. Oh, you'll be in New York in December. Very good, Todd. You and I will talk offline because I have a couple questions about that and maybe a request. So thank you, Todd. October 21st, 2011, Google of all companies, they celebrated Mary Blair's birthday. So see how I did that? I did a beginning and ending with Mary Blair. Mary Blair's birthday was celebrated with a doodle honoring the artist. And Google's doodle for the day featured an image of the illustrator as she would have drawn herself, surrounded by the simplistic patterns and shapes that made up her familiar cartoon world. So a lot of the geometric shapes of It's a Small World, and also the animated features. I got some information also from the Walt Disney World News Today website today. Mike turned me onto this one earlier during our brief conversation. Mickey Mouse has returned to the top of the Silly Symphony Swings Disney California Adventure. It's his rightful place, and it's themed from the short film The Band Concert. The Silly Symphony Swings had been missing Mickey for a while now, so it's good to see him back on top of the attraction. And when you look at him, he just looks brand new. So that's pretty darn cool. Yeah, Mike, the doodles are pretty cool. Oh. Hello, R-Johns. Thank you for joining. Good to have you here. Mike also told me, oh, Todd, thank you for being here. It was good to have you. Also, another image of Mickey Mouse. Mike also told me about this one. There is a new OtterBox phone case that's been released at the Magic Kingdom. Well, actually, what they have found it so far at Disney's Hollywood Studios, but it's an image of Magic Kingdom. It features Walt and Mickey Mouse, the partner statue, in front of, in this case, Cinderella Castle. I'll bet you anything at Disneyland is going to have Sleeping Beauty Castle. And then it also has other icons of the resort, such as the Jungle Cruise Boat, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, It's a Small World, the Mark Twain Space Mountain, the Mark Twain Riverboat, or rather the Liberty Square Riverboat in Walt Disney World. 'Tis our dream. Thank you for joining. So that's a great phone case. Right now, it's just available for the iPhone XR, but I'm sure XS is going to be coming, as well as 11. They can't help themselves. When they get a good item for sale, they make sure that everyone has it available to them. Also, this weekend at the box office, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, is now #1 in the country. But let me go ahead and read how I wrote this. Maleficent, Mistress of Evil debuted at #1 with $36 million at the box office. And overseas, including international, it made $153 million. So now, don't get me wrong, Disney made a lot of money opening weekend with this movie. Zip, how you doing? Good to see you, Patrick. So yeah, Maleficent made a lot of movie. However, it dethroned the Joker in the #1 spot. Also beat out Zombieland 2 Double Tap. We might mention Zombieland 2 tonight, but just briefly. The thing is that while this is good news for being the #1 this weekend, it did not match what the original Maleficent did 5 years ago. When Maleficent came out, it made $69 million its opening weekend. This was just a little over half of what the original made. And here's another little tidbit about that. It's the lowest opening of the year for a Disney film. Previously, that had been Dumbo at only $46 million. So I'm sure they will make plenty of money on this movie. However, not as much as they wanted. Hey, Mouse Talk. Walt, how you doing? Good to have you here. So let me go ahead and give you an update tonight on the Disney YouTube network. There's a lot happening tonight. We have a lot happening. Amy, so glad to see you. Amy's got a show that's going to be on tomorrow night, but I'll make sure that I advertise that one tomorrow night. In the meantime, right now, Disabled Disney is streaming as well. I also saw that Expedition Greg had an unscheduled live stream just come on this afternoon, so go check those out. At 7, all times I'm giving are going to be Eastern time, so 7 p.m. tonight, Mickey Sightings, Sean and Susie. Well, that is if Susie's going to join Sean. Sometimes she doesn't, but they have a great time always discussing Disney. At 8 p.m., Steve of Steve's World will be on. Steve always does an entertaining show, has a lot of people. Okay, good. Thank you, Mickey Sightings. Thank you for confirming that. So at 8 p.m. Eastern, Steve's World will be on the air. Don't have a topic yet for what he's discussing, but I'm sure it's going to be something interesting. It always is. Now at 9 p.m. Eastern, Mickey's Magic, Meg, doing her Disney and living life to the fullest. Last week she gave us a great makeup display. Oh man, that tutorial was awesome. She transformed herself into Maleficent right on air. It was amazing. Very good. Lena, thank you. Oh, Lena, good to see you. Oh, no need to apologize. It's okay. You're here. That's all that matters. Thank you so much for joining, Lena. Lena did a great stream yesterday. It was her 100 subscriber giveaway. Just really delightful. She is just so sweet. So good to see you, Lena. So tonight, 9 p.m. Mickey's Magic. Also 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Part of Rose's World is going to be doing a stream. Part of Rose's World. She's going to be doing some Halloween crafts that she picked up at Michael's. So she's got a little crafty display going. So, yeah, Meg is awesome. So yeah, Mickey's Magic and Part of Rose's World. Both streaming at the same time. I'm going to have to run concurrent. That's the term I'm looking for. I'll be running them concurrently. So I'll be running Mickey's Magic on one device, Rose's World on the other device, making sure that I can participate as much as I can. But it's going to be kind of tough because I'm going to be preparing for my own. And tonight I really need to make sure I get some research done. I haven't had too much time, so I want to make sure that I get it done. Donna, thank you for joining. Good to have you here. Tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, Pepper Tree Villa will be on with PTV Live. Yes, I'll be back on air tonight. And tonight, we're going to be discussing Halloween. Now, I've asked for some suggestions. If any of you here in the stream today can give us some suggestions of favorite TV shows that had Halloween episodes, or maybe a favorite Halloween special, or a movie that you like that's not thriller or the thriller type or the slasher type. We want to do the fun, cutesy side of Halloween. So we've got some ideas of what we're going to talk about. And I've also been requested to give a short, brief history about the development of Halloween. So I'm going to see what I can do about finding some history about that one to make sure I've got that request. Keystone Peanuts, absolutely, that's on the list. We love It's the Great Pumpkin. Does the Munsters count? Yes, the Munsters does count. So does the Addams Family. So that is about all I have for today's edition of the Daily Dose of Disney. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. And remember, Simpsons. Thank you, Amy. We're going to be discussing Simpsons Halloween Treehouse of Horrors. So there are several of the episodes that we will discuss on that one, I'm sure. But because there are some very funny scenes. And as the conversation goes on, I want everyone to interact with us. I want them to bring up ideas, things that they remember as well. So, and if I haven't seen something, if you could talk about it or describe it, that would be fantastic. So let's go ahead and have some fun tonight on our live stream at 10 p.m. So that's PTV Live tonight. In the meantime, everyone, have a magical evening. And again, everyone, happy birthday to Danny at Two Real Geeks. Make sure you wish him a happy birthday. Everyone, have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. And I'll see you later tonight on PTV Live at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. Bye, everyone. Have a great afternoon and evening.